All right, guys, I want to talk about SB244. It did not pass in New Hampshire, so I praise God for this victory. There was a narrow win. I think it was 14 to 10. So what this would have done is take viable babies up to 9 months and kill them. So we see that these senators spoke up. God used them to protect these little babies, which I'm so thankful for. At the same time, um, we see in Vermont right now, I believe it's S37. And what that looks like is this is a bill attacking pregnancy centers, saying basically pregnancy centers are, deceiving people. They're not offering, honest information, et cetera, et cetera. So we know that the enemy, we're in a battle. He wants to kill babies. We have a spiritual battle going on for life or death. Fortunately, any baby that does die is with God up in heaven. And we can be comforted with that, whether you had an abortion or miscarriage. Today, it's my son's birthday. I talked about this in yesterday's video. He's 20 today, and I'm so thankful. And what we're going to do is we're just going to spend time together. It doesn't have to cost money. It's going to be creative time together. I will be taking him out for lunch soon, and then we will be going out doing whatever he wants for the day. And him and his brother are my miracle babies because they all are, but they're especially my miracle babies because my husband had cancer. And I remember this in 96, we just had it was in September of 96. My husband and I were having some time together and I noticed a lump on him. And I got him to the hospital that night. He didn't want to go. Most men don't want to go. And I'm like, you're going. So he went to Concord Hospital and they were like, you got to come back in on Monday. And sure enough, he had testicular cancer. With that happening, he had a surgery in September. We had our third son in 1996 in November, our first home birth. And then in December, he had a major surgery, like 9 hours, where the lymph nodes were filled now with cancer. And so actually, pretty much the doctor saved his life. And also at that time, he called on Christ and he asked God to come into his heart. With that happening, somebody had said to me, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. And like I just said in my past video, I tend to move on pretty quickly. And she's like, you're either very ignorant of cancer or you have a pretty strong faith. And I just go crises. I tend to go through crises pretty well. And I don't know why. I think I get it from my mother. She had a lot of stuff in her life that had happened. And some of us carry a little bit more than others in life. And God has a purpose in that. But I do remember crying on the floor in the bathroom of our trailer, thinking we could not have any more kids. The doctor said, this is such a sensitive area. You probably aren't going to be able to have any more kids when I asked. And I had cried out to God for more children. I was devastated. And of course, I cared about my husband, but I was devastated that it looked like we could not have more children because I had wanted like 10 kids. My grandmother had 10 and I wanted 10. I grew up with a lot of fun with my relatives and I love big families. So I was brokenhearted, and people would try to console me and say, Melissa, 3 is a big family nowadays. And, you have to be able to afford kids. Look, you only have a trailer. And I'm like, I don't care. Where there's a will, there's a way. And then 5 years remission my husband had. And I went through that with him with the CAT scans and the awful milkish drink he had to take and all that. And lo and behold, one day I was like, my chest was really sore. And I was like, no way, could I be pregnant? And sure enough, I was. And someone said to me, you are crazy to have another kid now. Because my kids are like 12 and a half years apart. And sure enough, shortly after that, we had another one. And I wanted even more than that. I had my 5 sons and I wanted girls now. I didn't really desire girls until my last one. And then I wanted girls. And so my husband was just like, nope, 5, that's all I can handle. I cannot handle anymore. And so I said, well, then you're going to have to make the decision because it's not going to be on me. So he did have like this vasectomy and he just did not want more, but I did. I wanted about 5 more. So this is really important to um, be able to make sure that you love life. And when you get older, too, you want your kids. Like someone just said to me, Melissa, now that you're going through these trials that you're going through, you're so lucky to have your kids. And I'm like, I am. I'm so fortunate. And so I was going to say something else about that bill. I forget. I got off track with my son, but just basically, it's really important for women to want children. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So, one of these pregnancy centers, as I talk to them across the country, one of them offers, they have they're medical, a lot of them are medical. They have the people who have work in this area. So one of the medical directors, she helps couples with fertility with the rhythm method. Not only fertility, but she's trained in that, and also how not to get pregnant the natural way. So there are so many specific resources from pregnancy centers that are so cool. I was talking to somebody else the other day. They offer car repairs for women. That's one thing that I could not find help for. And they actually take the lady's name and they give the name to the dealerships, and they will help single moms with the car repairs. And she understood, that women need a car to go to work, and she got that, and that's what they do. So anything you need, again, don't be afraid to ask for that. That is going to be a huge part of raising children. That's the easy part, believe it or not. The harder part is the desire, I think, for women to want to have children. They don't seem to want it. They want to go live their life, go out partying all the time. They don't, I think one of the biggest reasons they don't is they're afraid their body is going to change. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you get my age, like I saw a pregnant woman the other day, and I have my body back, so to say. I cannot be pregnant anymore. I have my body, I work out, and I'm proud of my body. But I loved my body when I was pregnant too. I loved being pregnant. I loved having a big belly. And I there's no shame in that. There's no shame in, a few stretch marks, or that's about all I had, was just a few really light stretch marks. You can put some cream on it, and I don't have veins. I don't have anything. And actually I benefited with my body because I have, bigger hips and, a bigger chest after you have kids is usually what happens. So your body actually is more beautiful, I think, after you have kids. So there is really no loss in having children. And financially, too, there's really no loss. If you're frugal and you use resources, you actually can have more sometimes as a single mom than if you didn't, because there is so much help. Or even as a married mother, as I have been, there's so many resources when you have kids. It's not a loss. It's just how you do it. So that's what I got for you today, guys.